Hi, let us begin now with the methods of training. Okay, so as you can see, the module content of the module, significance, assessing training needs, designing formal training program, that is the process, implementation of training program, evaluation is left, and methods of training and their benefits. So this is what we are going to discuss now, right? All right, the methods of training, let's begin with this. Now, you remember we discussed one case study in the beginning of Tesco, and in which you might have known some of the methods on the job and off the job. So, similarly, here the training methods are mainly divided into two categories. One is called on the job training, and second one is called off the job training. Now, when it is on the job training, right, as the name suggests, it means you are you are taking the training while you're working. It is on the job. There is no specialized arrangement, as in, but there are certain type of job in which you learn as and how you work. So that is called on the job training. And off the job training means it means that you go away from the workplace and a specialized arrangement is made for the training program, right? Now both of them have their own benefits and both of them have their own limitations. So what we are going to begin with first is on the job training program. Now, as I said, that on the job training program, is one wherein people want to like get hands on experience, right? The method which is used to obtain proficiency, let's say knowledge, skills, or whatever is required to ace a job in a real life working environment, right? You want to get a hands on experience. So for example, an organization provides on the job training for new employees to get accustomed to special devices, tools, or equipment which are needed in the work field. And this is done with the help of, let's say, practice sessions, some simulations, or some fabricated training environment. Like we saw one example of a paper cutter. Now, such kind of jobs, wherein you actually need to try and learn, it is not possible to take you somewhere else and then, learn on device which is different. So once you practice, then only it is possible. So the importance of on the job training for anybody, let's say for new employees, is that they get a direct and unmediated experience of the work procedures, right? They get like well versed in potential challenges and what are the responsibilities. So employees also get to understand that the managers, what is the manager's expectations from their role, how certain types of equipment and software work, and what are the other necessary hard skills which are required to accomplish their task. And the duration of on the job training depends on the nature of the work and the task management. So it may last from weeks or 2 months. It's not necessary that training program will only be organized only for 2 days, but since you are taking training on the actual devices, if you are into production, then it may last from weeks to months. um, yeah. So as a now we move ahead, we will also understand how why it is important and what are the benefits of on the job training. But let's first read what are the on the job training methods and what are the off the job training methods. So on the job training method, first one is apprenticeship training, second one is job rotation, third one is internship and assistantship, and fourth one is job instruction training. When we are talking about off the job training method, the off the job training are program learning, second one is simulation method, third one is laboratory method, laboratory training, fourth one case study, fifth one lecture, sixth one role playing, seventh one video conferencing, and there could be like some other methods also which can be added over here. So one by one we will discuss these on the job and off the job training methods. The first one is apprenticeship training. So what is that? Like I hope you've heard this. You're familiar with this word apprenticeship. So what is this? It is a structured process by which people become skilled workers through a combination of classroom instruction and on the job training. So it is like an apprenticeship. You are like an apprenticeship. All right. So once again, I repeat. When we are talking about apprenticeship training, it is a structured process by which people become skilled workers through a combination of classroom instruction and on-the-job training. So in countries like India also, like mainly in the International Labour Organization (ILO), they also they are also taking some initiatives to promote the apprenticeship. Across the world. And when we are talking about apprenticeship training, the institutions like National Apprenticeship Training Scheme, even in India we have these special apprenticeship initiatives which are taken by the government in order to promote such kind of training. So please understand that when we are talking about apprenticeship training, they are a type of technical and vocational training which always combines on the job skill development and off the job learning, so that a person can take up different roles or different professions. They can learn something like that, and then they can be groomed by the experts. So that is about apprenticeship training. Now there are a number of benefits also when we are talking about this kind of training. So when we are talking about apprenticeship training, from the organization perspective, if you see the organization, they will be able to build more competent teams, and transfer of skills also become much easier to those who are new into the team. And also the learning becomes continuous because you are learning at the workplace. For example, if there is a lawyer and you are an apprentice, then you go to the lawyer's office, you see, observe how they are working, and then you are learning from them. So learning becomes easier and faster. And also you can improve the reputation of the organization. That is also possible. So it depends, like the organization might send you to the apprentices, or you yourself can also apply for the apprentices. For India, if you see, then there are certain provisions which has to be fulfilled. So if you are interested, you can just see apprenticeship training, and then you will be able to find out. The next one is job rotation. So, as the name suggests, you rotate from one job to another job. Now, what does that mean? See, job rotation is the systematic movement of employees from one job to job, or from project to project within an organization, as a way to achieve many different human resource objectives. So, every organization, if they feel that employees should be taught new skills, then they are transferred from one job to another job, or they are moved from one project to another job within the organization. Excellent job rotation program can decrease the training cost while also increasing the impact of training, because job rotation is a hands-on experience. Many individuals more self-motivated, flexible, adaptable, innovative, eager to learn, and able to communicate effectively, and better understanding of strategic issues. So it makes individuals like this, because it's an hands-on experience. You work on one project, you go to another project, and you learn while you're working. So it becomes much easier, and there is no separate training involved, so you can also save on the cost. One of the possible problems with the rotation program will be the cost, because job rotation increases amount of management time to spend on lower level employees. This is there. This cost can be there because amount of time that management will be spending on lower level employees will have the indirect cost attached to it. So then it can add. Otherwise, job rotation is on the job training program wherein you are moved from one job to another job so that you can learn new skills. Third one is internships. Now, some of you might have pursued internship or might be doing after your second semester. So, internship are opportunities for students to get real world experience, often during summer vacations, as a part of fulfilling requirements for degree program. So, some of you might have done your internships during your graduation also. So, internship means you go to the workplace and you work. While work is going on, you learn from the seniors about how work is to be done. So they are usually offered by organization to college students wanting to find work experience, and the internship offer precious real life job experience, and the organization often gets skilled, highly dedicated service. So internships, some of them can be paid, some of them can be unpaid, right? Some of them can be for long working hours, some of them can be for short working hours, but your chances of getting shortlisted for the job also increases if you are a good intern. Let's say if you have worked as an intern and later when you finish your post graduation and if you want to apply for the job, then your chances of getting selected are higher because you have performed well during your internships. Even sometimes company calls you, they will call you and they give first priority because you have performed internship, so you are well aware about the company's culture and norms, and so your chances of getting hired are um, also increases. Number 4 is job instruction training. So the stepwise process of imparting training to employees is called job instruction training. Stepwise process, instructions are always given systematically. Step number 1, step number 2, step number 3. So while you're working on the job, somebody is giving you job instructions and you're following those instructions as a part of the training. So that is called stepwise process. All necessary steps with brief write-ups are compiled sequentially. Each note explains what is to be done and how it is to be done. It enables trainees to learn the job practically with minimum guidance of the trainers, because you already have instruction. Let's say you will see a document in which all the instructions are written. So all you have to do is, it is self-explanatory. All you have to do is go through those steps and follow them. Right? So that's how instruction training is given. Now, of the job training program, some of the training methods we will see. Of the job training methods, first one is programmed learning. Now, what is programmed learning? See, it is like a programmed learning is a kind of learning method in which you follow some instructions. Like there are questions which are presented, there are some facts or problems which are presented to the learner. Now you, जैसे अपने दिमाग में प्रोग्रामिंग होती है, जैसे कंप्यूटर में प्रोग्रामिंग होती है, likewise we you allow the person to respond and then provide the feedback on the accuracy of the answer. So you share a problem, right? Let the person analyze the problem, think about it, come up with a solution, and then you provide the feedback to the learner. That is called program learning. The next one is simulation method or vestibule training. So it is a simulation or vestibule, so it is a type of technique that creates a situation which is as nearly as possible replicates the real one. Now there are certain types of job which are much riskier. You actually cannot let somebody fly an airplane for the first time straight away. So instead of that, you try and create an artificial or replicated airplane and let somebody learn first how it is, what are the methods of working, what are the different devices, what are the different switches and buttons, right? You understand everything. So it is one of the training method in which there is a skilled person, including those who work with equipment and machinery, and they receive job education training in a location other than the main manufacturing facility, just to avoid some kind of risk. And this type of training is often known as near the job training because it involves the creation of a simulated work environment near the primary production plant, very similar to what the real one is. So that is called simulation or vestibule training. Next one is a laboratory training. So what happens in a laboratory training? This is actually a little bit older method of older training program. So this kind of training is also called sensitivity training or T group training, because it is conducted by creating an experimental laboratory situation, in which employees are brought together in groups to interact in an unstructured environment. And there is more of a social sensitivity and behavioral flexibility when you are participating in a laboratory training program, because there is a group of people, trainees, who are not normally familiar with each other. Let's say I ask some of you to go and meet people and sit in a group, unknown group. Now if a question is put forward, right, you are not hesitant, you're not bothered that somebody is going to take an impression of what answers you are giving. But because it is an unorganized setup, then what happens is a group of trainees, they just gather, right? They don't know each other, but if there is a problem which has been shared, then they all give some suggestions, some solutions, and when you go back, you have a lot of ideas with you, because uh, you met new people who had like some better opinions and ideas. Otherwise, what happens is, at your workplace, if the same group of people is there, that you interacting with, then what happens is, you already know what they have to say. But when you're meeting people, they will share their feelings, they will share their opinions, you will see new attitude, perception, values coming up, and that's how you learn new things. So there is like, that's why I'm saying, in sensitivity training, social sensitivity and behavior flexibility is something that you develop when you are participating in a laboratory training method. Next one is case studies. Case studies is something that we've been discussing. You have been learning from the case studies. So basically, case studies, are such wherein trainees are provided with the necessary information in a case study format, and they are expected to come up with decisions which are based on their understanding of the case. So, whatever you feel, how you can handle the situation, you can just understand the case, the problems, try to analyze, and then come up with a solution. And detail of series of events, with whether they are real or whether they are hypothetical, whichever they take place in a business environment, that has been shared. So you are free to come up with the solution, and try to understand the case. So that is also one very interesting way of actually learning the problems. The next one is a very common method, the lecture method. It is best used to create a general understanding of a topic, or to influence attitudes through the education about a topic. The most common form of the job training is the oral presentation of information to an audience. So basically, you know how lectures are, and you learn so much from the lectures, right? So that is the way. You are in a setup where experts are there, trainers are there, and they will guide you, they will lecture you about the topics which are new for you to learn. So that is called the lecture method. Next one is role playing. So it's a role play. Again, you must have participated in a role play, and you're trying to act out on a particular role. It refers to acting out a particular role. The purpose of this method is to give participants a chance to experience such situations in a very controlled setting. Right? For example, you are working in a restaurant, you are going to work in a restaurant, and you come across so many different customers. Some of them might be aggressive in nature, and some of them might be mistreating you. So how do you deal in that kind of situation? So you can actually do a role play about when a person, how do you greet when a customer enters, how do you offer them the menu so that they can select how much time are you going to give, how are you going to assist them with the new dishes on the menu, then how much time will you take in delivering the food. So after that, what kind of service you offer in the middle if they need anything. So everything you can do, you can act it out and see that no mistakes are made, and then you can do the role play. Trainees are provided with a description of the context, usually a topic area, a general description of a situation, a description of their roles and the problem they each face. So then they can act it out, and then they can learn also from it. If such situation arises, how is one going to behave? So your behaviors are also there's something which can be checked upon. So that is about a role play. Next one is video conferencing. This is one of the distance learning methods for training. It allows to communicate via audio visual aids with people in another location. So this you understand, right? Video conferencing. Nowadays Zoom calls are so common. Whenever any meeting has to be conducted, or some lectures has to be given, or some training has to be conducted, video conferencing is also one of the method of imparting the training. So that is about these are the methods. So likewise, there are some more methods, but these are some of the major common methods which are used to deliver training to the employees. So these are the methods of training. One more, coaching and mentoring. Now, coach, you must have heard cricket ka coach and mentor, right? Some in your organizations also, you must have known that there are mentors who are offering mentoring to the employees. So, coaching and mentoring is the most commonly used on the job training method. In the coaching process, employees receive feedback on their performance and guidelines to perform better from their supervisors regularly. So on a regular basis, coach is going to guide you, will give you some kind of feedback on the performance and guidelines to perform better from their supervisors regularly. Mentoring is a form of coaching which is used by executives to train their subordinates, and it involves one to one coaching that continues until the employee becomes learn quickly capable enough to surpass his or her mentor. So it is also a form of coaching which is used by executives to train the subordinates, and they give like one to one coaching till the time person becomes capable of doing it herself. Coaching and mentoring helps employees to learn quickly through one to one interaction. Moreover, it enables organizations to keep track of the performance of employees and make optimal utilization of their skills. So this is about coaching and mentoring as one of the method. Let us now discuss about the evaluation program. So how to evaluate the training? Now see, there are different organizations will have different ways of evaluating their training, right? Anybody would want to find out how much successful the training program was, because everyone is investing a lot of resources in offering the training program to the employees, right? So every organization will have different ways of evaluating the training program. There is one training program which is quite well known. It is the Tata Business Support Services model, which adopted like Jim Kirkpatrick's framework. So there's this expert who's called Jim Kirkpatrick. His evaluation, this training evaluation program is very well known. So it evaluates training efficiency by analyzing trainee feedback, evaluating performance scores, productivity levels, scores, knowledge, and skills. So they are analyzing the training on the basis of different types of parameters, right? They would want to know the improvement level. So basically, they have this model in which the training program is divided into four different levels, right? So they would want to know how much you have learned, what about the reaction. First comes the reaction, then comes the learning, then comes the knowledge level, then change in the behavior. So they have this model. I'm sorry, unfortunately, I think I am missing to include that one particular slide, that one particular model in this presentation. So what I'm going to do is, let me just finish the rest of the topics from this chapter, and then I will be definitely showing you that one model which we are missing, specifically related to evaluation of the training. Moving ahead, now we are going to quickly see the difference between training and development. So we've already seen the difference. So I would request you to please go through the slide yourself and see the difference once. Okay, hope you got the time to read the difference between training and development. Now let's quickly understand what is development. So, yeah, see, development is a long term process that aims at the overall improvement of employees for future job performance. It focuses on enhancing the conceptual and theoretical knowledge of employees for a particular job position that they may hold in the future. For example, if an employee has instinct leadership qualities, he or she may be prepared for the position of a manager or team leader through proper education or mentoring. Right, so if if the manager of a senior manager feels that yeah, you are liable or you are eligible to take up a senior level position, then they would want you to take you through the development exercises, so that in the future you can hold a leadership position, some leadership position in the future, and for that whatever qualities you require you can develop. All right. Now, see, when we are talking about different initiatives which are taken by the organization, see, then IBM is one organization who is having this leadership development initiative. So, what they do is IBM considers its 3C capability, climate, and culture approach towards the employees. IBM offers several programs for developing professional capability and career prospects of its managers. So this is what they do, right? All the good companies, you will see that they are taking the development initiatives, so that the employees within the organization can take up the senior level positions. They are ready to take up the senior level positions. So that is about IBM. If we also talk about another company, that is Reliance Industries, see, Reliance have combined in-house homegrown programs and university-based educational programs. So they developed MDP with IIM Bangalore for its high growth manager. So MDP is management development program, in which they send their managers or senior level people for a short term course, let's say for a duration of 1 year, specifically to learn managerial qualities to the IIMs and other reputed institutions, B schools. Because sometimes what happens is, if there are engineers, if there are technical IT people who are ready to take up the senior level position, then they will be technically very sound, but they might not possess the managerial qualities, like they would not know how to act as a leader, how to take the decision as a leader, so they need some kind of guidance. So MDP programs are such, management development programs are such, wherein they help the managerial level employees to develop those qualities. They also conduct MPRE with IIM Bangalore and Reliance Certified Engineering courses with IIT Mumbai. So these are the courses related to related to engineering for the engineers. So it completely depends on what position. So there are different programs, and these companies, either they have their own training centers, like Infosys has its own training center, to offer these programs. I would like to show you more in detail about it. It would be very interesting for you to, I'm sure, know more about the Infosys. But apart from that, as we just saw the examples, it's IBM, it's Reliance, Tata, all of them organize, such kind of training programs, development programs, with the help of the institutes, B schools, and other reputed institutions. Okay, see something about the Infosys. This is, you can just see the structure, look in the picture, how it is. Infosys has established a training and development center called the Global Education Center, GEC, at Mysore in Karnataka. They have this kind of training center, and just look at the statistics. Some statistics are here. So basically, a floor area of 9.6 lakh square feet, as against the 2 lakh square feet of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Rashtrapati Bhavan is 2 lakh square feet. This is 9.6 lakh. So it is basically spreaded across 300 and some 357 or 337 acres of land, which is like huge. They have more than 13,500 fully air conditioned and Wi-Fi enabled residential rooms, making it the single largest residential unit in the world. India's biggest laundry with 175 individual washing machines, the largest investment in India of 1600 crores on education in the single location, and 50,000 students and professionals to be trained annually, and it's world's second largest synthetic tent structure to function as a food court to serve 2000 people. So these are just some statistics about how it looks. See, it looks like it looks like Rashtrapati Bhavan. It has this kind of structure. It's really beautiful. So I have just a video. If you just would like to quickly see how it is. This other video, it is again a short clip, just giving you glimpse of the inside part, and it is recorded by one of the intern over there. So let's just take a look. All right, so tell me, how did you find it? I'm sure it's beautiful, right? You must be feeling that, yeah, you also would want to be part of this great institution, this great organization, and participate in the training programs. Like, it would be great to, live and learn in this organization. So that's about the Infosys. So likewise, these in today's time, the organization are trying to build, their own training facilities, so that they can save the cost, and they can give the training to the employees on continuous basis. And of course, organizations like this are exceptional, who have created like world's best infrastructure, to offer and create the best learning environment for the employees. That's why, Infosys is one such company who's looking for the quality of learnability among the candidates, because they have resources. So they definitely want somebody who is ready and willing to learn new skills. So that is about Infosys. Alright, now moving ahead, there is one small case which is related to training. So let us see that quickly, and then we'll move ahead. Okay, I'm going to read it. Effectiveness of well-timed training in fostering employee competency. Now there is a company called Modern Textiles. So Modern Textiles is in the business of producing garments and has an average annual turnover of 3 billion. Since a large volume of its products is exported, the company has been very conscious of its quality commitment. It provides induction training to every new employee for 2 weeks, and then on the job training by a supervisor for 4 months. This had been proving sufficient for the workers in meeting the client's quality expectations, even while maintaining the high volume of production. So once again I repeat, so basically they are into textiles, right, and they are producing garments with an average annual turnover of 3 billion. Now, since a large volume of its product is exported, so because they're exporting, so obviously they are very much conscious about the quality, and to maintain the good quality from the by the employees, what they're doing is, the first thing, they provide induction training to every new employee for 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks they are well versed about what are the expectations of the company, right? Because they are quality conscious, so obviously they will be made aware about how much focus they should be giving on the quality in the company. And after that, on the job training. So on the job training, they are taking under a supervisor for 4 months. So it's a long term process, right? So as in how they are working, obviously they will understand that how quality is supposed to be maintained. So this is how they take the training. See, this had been proving sufficient for the workers in meeting the client's quality expectations, even while maintaining the high volume of production. Now, as part of its ambitious expansion program, the company recently imported ultra modern machinery to double its production capacity. So now it's time for the expansion. After the machinery was installed, the production volumes increased as expected, but the reject rates too rose dramatically. Yeah, so now the production has increased, the volume has increased, but at the same time there is some problem. The reject rates are also increasing. Consequently, the cost of production increased, and the export deadlines too became very tight. So what is happening? Cost of production is also increased, and the export deadline is too became very very tight, right? Because now there's some problem. Cost of production has obviously increased, deadlines are also tight because you have increased the production, and the rejection ratio is also high. So how do you manage? The management discussed the issue at the different levels of the organization and held the machine operators inadequate knowledge and improper handling of the new machines as the primary reason for the unusual rejects. So what is happening? The issue is machine operators inadequate knowledge. People are not able to handle the new machinery properly, and improper handling of the new machines, right? So these are the major reasons why the rejection rates is rising. To remedy the situation, the HR department hurriedly organized the necessary training programs for the employees who are handling this machine, and the reject rate situation started to improve. Obviously, because you've already identified that because these are the new machineries, people are not able to handle the situation, and that's why this rate has increased. Now, meanwhile, the production manager found the HR department at fault for the crisis and blamed it for not undertaking training needs assessment among the production department employees. So, here who's at fault? The production manager found the HR department at fault because they should have identified in the beginning that training could be needed. So they have not done training need assessment among the production department employees. However, the HR department retorted by saying that barely 3 months before the arrival of the new machine, a routine training needs assessment had been made among the employees, but it had revealed no pressing training requirements. Now, training department is also saying that just before 3 months of the arrival of the machinery, they had done training need assessment, and no pressing need for the training was found when they did among the production department. On their part, the HR personnel held the production manager responsible for failing to inform them about the imminent arrival of the new machine at the time of the assessment of the training necessities. This is also right. Now see, the HR manager is not even aware about arrival of new machinery at the time of the assessment of the training necessities. Otherwise, they would have included such questions, they would have tried to understand, they would have tried to identify the training needs, but that did not happen. So the blame game continued. Right? HR is blaming production manager is blaming the HR. So this thing is just going on and on and on. Now, some questions for discussion. From your perception, who is responsible for the whole incident resulting in high. Excuse me. Yeah, so from your perception, who is responsible for the whole incident resulting in high reject rates and the other associated problems? Now, since this is not a live class, but you all can give it a thought. What do you think, according to you, who is responsible? Will you held do you want to hold like the production manager responsible, or you think it is the responsibility of the HR, and because of which high reject rates are there? If you were the HR manager, what would you do to avert this crisis? Now this crisis has taken care. What would you do? Do you think that if you are doing need assessment in any department, you should talk to the manager and find out, first talk to the manager rather than just doing this need assessment themselves, and understand what are the plans? Or do you think HR should also be part of all the strategic decisions, just to understand that in the future these are the changes which are going to take place? And the last one, what should be the long term strategy of this company in terms of the training policy and process? So now it's time, you built a long term strategy, because this problem can be faced by any department. If there is no coordination between HR and other departments in terms of anything, let's say in terms of recruitment, in terms of selection, in terms of expectations, in terms of salary, in terms of training, in terms of performance appraisal, in terms of growth opportunities, in terms of promotion, anything, if there is no coordination between any department and HR department, then there will be differences and problems, and such kind of crisis can arise. So in order to avoid such kind of situation, there has to be some strategy that company can actually implement whenever it is needed, right? So yeah, that's the end of the chapter. If there is any doubt, you can always write to me and we can discuss further, but till then just give it a thought about these questions. This is where the role of HR is. It's crucial. So we will be discussing further. But with this, we are ending this chapter of training. We have covered all the topics which are there in our syllabus, and then we will be now moving on to another chapter, that is about the performance appraisal and performance management. All right, thank you so much. See you soon. Bye bye.